What is happening, everybody? This is James Adams, Apex Agents. We've got an incredible event coming up, the Positive Impact Movement Mastermind, that was really crafted off of the last one, and some great feedback and great sponsors, great people, and just fulfilling the mission to impact as many people as we possibly can. And today we've got one of our counterparts for that, and somebody who's going to be a keynote speaker at our next event here at Papa Joe's, October 13th. She is somebody who, I mean, we're on the phone a couple times a week. We're always bouncing ideas off each other, how to push our businesses to the next level, how to help people, how to work through it. And every single conversation, the number one thing that comes up is how can we serve? How can we serve our customers? How can we serve our partners? How can we serve the people that are around us? Because that's how we're going to make the biggest impact while we're here. Guys, give a really warm welcome for Justine. I'm going to bring her on.
Hey
What's happening,
guys,
girl?
how are you, James? Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you too. You too. Yeah, I'm awesome. I mean, just like you, we always have a busy day, but at the same time, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. Thank you guys for being a little bit patient with me. I had an inspection run a little bit long today. So, just the kind of world we live in, we got to roll with the punches sometimes. So, I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still going to be the same value. So, how's life? How's everything going for you?
Everything has been really, really good. Getting some buyers under contract, which in this market is a feat and a half. So I got 3 new buyers under contract in the last 7 days. So very, very exciting. I am very tired, and I know my buyers are too at looking at houses. So it was very nice. It was the last inspection that just happened, and it really went good. So I mean, full steam ahead for all of them. So I'm so grateful for everyone trusting me. And what about you? How's business been going with you guys?
Fantastic. I mean, this past
Awesome.
week, I don't know, there was 4 or 5 families that we helped get under contract, whether they were selling or buying, and
It's amazing.
uh, it continues to move, and it comes through helping other people, right? So, like, whether
Yep.
it's the customer, it's an agent with the team working through problems. Earlier today, Karen and I were just talking about a situation, working through some scripting there
Right.
to help turn things around, because in our business, referrals are referrals. That's amazing,
Right.
right? Like, you get someone who uh, trusts you enough to refer you to somebody else, but part of our business is also through lead generation. So there's a little bit there about, when it's a referral, the door is wide open, right? You've been allowed in.
Yep.
But with lead generation, there's always that wall that you got
Yep.
to work through. And really, the whole purpose is, listen, like, I'm a badass and I'm the best person in the whole world that you could ever ask to
Yep.
help you with this project, but I need you to see that, and in order to get to that place, we got to get on the phone.
Yep. Well, and you hit the nail on the head when you said you were talking to Karen before, because, I was just having a conversation with somebody yesterday. And, I come from the restaurant industry, and something we always did was role playing, right? And I know it sounds so silly, and it's kind of uncomfortable. And I used to always tell, I worked at Outback, if you can't sell a steak to me or sell our signature drink to me who sees you every single day, then you're definitely not going to be able to do this in front of a total stranger. So, it kind of helps break that wall down when you got some free time and you're just having some good old fashioned fun and kind of going through some scenarios and seeing, hey, if this happens, this is what a really good answer would be to combat that. So you hit the nail on the head there. I really like that because that's what it's about.
And you added to it, though, right? So, like, Tom Brady, is he just showing up to the game? Like,
Right.
he didn't practice this week. He didn't
Yep.
throw any passes, right? Like, the meanwhile, if you were to break apart, and this is a huge process where we all do it, what's the most valuable time that you spend, and what are you doing in that time?
Yep.
And you talk about a practice, like, getting somebody to open up and to realize that what you have to offer for them, it's
Right.
got to be, that's like Tom Brady throwing on a slant, right? Like,
Yep.
he's not throwing too many interceptions there. You've got to get the ball to the correct placement, because every time that breaks down, it's no good. But that comes back to role playing.
Yep.
Is don't go into Tom Brady's not going into the game without throwing that pass 100 times. It's the same thing for
Exactly.
us. We should definitely be working on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, and again, it just, when it comes naturally to you, it means more, right? Like you're not reading off of a script and you're, kind of nervous, and it just, you get more confidence in yourself when you feel that, you're talking to another professional and they kind of stop you and they're like, hey, pump the brakes. Maybe you should say it this way, or vice versa. They're like, hey, I really love that. stealing that right now. Like I'm using that in my next time that this comes up, because even though every transaction is so different and every customer is so different, a lot of the same situations do arise. And, having those scripted conversations already just makes you feel more confident and makes you kind of shine, like you were talking about before.
And even so, because of your topic and combined with Michelle's, like I shifted mine, right? But my original
Yeah.
topic for this event was going to be about pre-negotiation, NLP, and it ties into what you're saying, right? So if we recognize things that go wrong in a transaction, that that we can say it goes wrong here, but
Right.
maybe it really went wrong in our conversation up front,
Yeah.
right? Like we could have prepared them better for the situation so that when they got to it, oh my God, there's 10 GFCIs that are wrong in a double tap. Oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening. Guys,
Right.
listen, we're going to talk to the seller.
Yeah.
Let's go with the route that we're on the seller side. If we didn't talk about that up front, say, look, 4-point issues, we got to get through this to get to the insurance, and they need
Amen.
insurance for the loan. Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden we're there.
So I call it being proactive instead of reactive.
Mhm.
I think it's the best way to put it. When you're having these honest
Love that.
conversations, and let's face it, they're not always easy, especially when representing a seller in this current market. We all know that houses are selling for well above asking and multiple offers, but it's still the right thing to do. You're getting all this extra money, and that's great. And we're excited for you. But like you hit it the nail on the head, they've got to be able to get insurance. So these are the main things. And if you have that conversation with your people ahead of time, it doesn't like smack them in the face when they get that inspection report and they're like, oh my gosh, there's electrical issues. I've been living here for 12 years. I never had a problem. And you're like, well, that's great. God bless you. But there is an issue,
Yep.
So, and we talked about this. Remember sitting at your table and they're like, yeah, we did. We're going to get it fixed. So again, being proactive instead of reactive, because nobody wants to be reactive, right? It happens to all of us. We're in the middle of a deal or in the middle of something going on, and we end up having to just act in the moment. And 9 times out of 10, it never ends well. So, it's better to have a kind of a plan in place. And that's why the role playing to me is just, you're already like, even though you may have never actually been through the situation, you heard that James and Karen went through it and they had a great conversation and you were a part of it in their role playing activity. And now, boom, already firing off what to say.
Yep, 100%. And we work from home. My
Yeah.
three-car garage is converted, and we work in an open space, right? So we're
Right.
all around each other where we hear those conversations over and over and those situations over and over. And I've learned so much over the last year because we're both young in this business, right? And
Right.
and even though we've done a tremendous volume of business, everyone's different, right? There's a different situation on almost every file that I haven't
You're
seen
not wrong.
before. So the cool thing about being in this room is I see 5 of those situations, like the sets are there so that it's very cool. I love the fact that you said that, because being open and hearing each other is everything.
Well, and I like how you guys have your office space, because what I notice is, and especially like being, a newer agent, I've only been in the business for about 3 years. I remember when I first started, I would actually be embarrassed to have conversations in front of people because I'm like, this is an experienced agent sitting 5 feet from me. Like, I don't want them to hear me saying something and stuttering on my
Great
words.
point.
And I'm always eavesdropping. So I'm always listening to what they're saying. So I'm thinking, oh, they're probably doing the same thing to me. And again, it comes back to that confidence that as soon as I had heard enough conversations, happening from other people, I started feeling more confident in the conversations that I was having because I hadn't been through anything yet. I'm like looking at my first deal, like with, the greenest eyes in the world, like so excited. And I'm like, I'm going to go step outside to have this convo because I'm terrified, but it helps kind of strengthen all of us and makes everyone better because we all go through crazy stuff in every deal.
And what you said really was amazing, because I never even thought about that until you said it, but everyone's public speaking every single day when they show up to work. They're
100%. And you don't think about it, right? Because you're like,
no.
and it's so funny. And I've talked to you about this before, right? Like the similarities of restaurants to real estate to me. And I was in restaurants for 15 years and, I would never think that I was a great public speaker. And then I get in front of a 12 top and I'm like, welcome, let me get everybody's drinks and all their food. And that's public speaking. It's the same thing when you're showing a house. You maybe don't know these clients. You weren't introduced through some type of a referral. And this is you're trying to break that wall and you're trying to be yourself and you're putting on a show kind of in a way because you're like terrified, like this is the kitchen, like you're just so scared. I remember being that agent. I really, really do. And now I feel so confident. I walk into a house and I'm like, this is my house. Like, even though I've never been here before, but it just comes with time and practice. And that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about at the event is, like having that mentor to kind of put you under their wing and, really show the ropes, because this is a business that, there isn't a lot of that.
For sure, and it ties in so much. Like you and I have we connect on a lot of levels,
Yeah.
and the mission here is really to provide that, right? So
Yeah.
open up the lines of communication. I don't care what
Amen.
brokerage you're with, reach out to me, and we've both been blessed with an incredible mentor in Kimberly Pie, right? So
Yeah.
like having her answer the phone and help us, and it's not. I don't know how, like, she's got a time machine or some shit, because everyone I talk to, like, is really been influenced by her, and it's truly amazing to see that. But that's what we're on our mission for, is to help them, and I want to hear it. So tell me a little bit about, like, just give them a quick synopsis of what you're thinking about tying into the mentorship here at the event.
So, I mean, that's how I learned everything, through my mentor. My mentor was Al Vermeer, and he really kind of put me under his wing. And if without him, I would definitely not been as successful as I am in real estate today. So, for me, I got to do that now for 3 different agents, and they're all solo agents, but, they call me. I mean, Nicole literally was texting me right as this call started to say, like, hey, I have a couple quick questions for you. Can you call me when you're done? And she's been in real estate for almost 2 years. So, for personally, I think mentorship is ongoing, right? Like it doesn't just stop. We never know it all. So 3 years into real estate, 10 years into real estate, 1 month into real estate, there's always something that you can get from having a conversation with somebody and picking up the phone and saying, hey, James, this has never happened. Has this ever happened to you? Let's kind of talk it through. And then, of course, kind of like zone in and maybe call Miss Kim and be like, okay, we know this has happened to you. Help us out. What do we do? So I think mentorship is just ongoing. The trainings, I mean, you've come to some of my trainings at the office. And I mean, I just think that they're amazing, because whether it's me doing them or you doing them or vice versa, I love the camaraderie that we all have, especially in Hernando County, that we're like, hey, I know you're my competition. I use that phrase like very loosely, because I don't view you as that. I view you as my friend, and I view you as, I want you to succeed. I know you want the same for me, and why can't both of our business models succeed? There's enough people to help in this world that both of us can do really well and make each other shine.
I love that. I love that. Especially what you're tying into is, and it's still very prevalent, right? Like
Yeah.
I think it's a big driving passion for me, is the scarce mindset of competition. I mean, let's look at different markets, right? There's certain markets in this country where one person literally lists 20% of the homes.
Right.
That's where, like, okay, like that person's got a stronghold. In our market, I think the highest market share is like 2.7%
Right.
is the highest market share. So no, and honestly, when you look at the people that have the highest market share, they're people who live abundantly and share.
Yeah.
It's not a
Exactly.
coincidence, right? Like
Right.
when you and I collaborate on a topic, you know what's going to happen is, it's going to get better no matter what, and it might even completely evolve to a completely different thing
Right.
based on our conversation, because you can't play it out in your own mind.
Exactly. Well, and I always kind of come back to this too. So like we're having a conversation, with some new agents at my brokerage. And I think like sometimes those newer agents bring more insight, because we're looking at the same puzzle like constantly and not seeing a difference in a picture, right? And then, like the picture behind me, like I'm looking at the whole scene and I see this big beach setting, and then somebody comes in and they're like, look at that bird in the top corner, and you're like, I never seen the bird before, but you've been looking at the painting, your whole life. So really, that's kind of where I love the big round table sessions, where it's just like, this is what's happened to me. This is how I combated it. What would anybody else do that's different? Because we know it's going to come up again. And that's where I really solidly believe that mentorship is just never over. And your mentor changes, right? So like you may outgrow one mentor and go to the next level, and they're still at a different stage, and you find a new mentor. Doesn't mean you stop talking to that first mentor. They got you to where you are, so that is what I believe in fully. And that's kind of what I plan on delivering to the event, and kind of drumming it in everyone's brain, because none of us would be here without somebody helping us in some way, shape, or form.
100%. And I love that. I can't wait. Like uh,
It is, yeah.
it's
It's
going
gonna
to
be a
be
fun
fire
one.
packed. It's like the energy that's going to be between the three of us. I'm so excited. And some of the things that we've talked about that we're going to intertwine into this, that's
Mhm.
going to help people to like, everyone always says, right? You're going to have action steps when you leave this event. You're going to have things you can do when you leave this event. I'm willing to commit 100% when you leave this event, you're going to have the very next day a plan on
Right.
how you're going to do this and what you're going to do next and how you're going to revolutionize your business to grow to that next level that you want to. Whether that's
Yeah.
10 deals to 20 deals or that's 20 deals to 100.
Yeah.
We can build that out either way. And I can't wait to give that to everybody. And I super appreciate you contributing your time to this event because
Yeah.
they don't see that like there's a lot that goes into this, right? Like we had to meet
Yeah.
here for this. There's other marketing things that I need you to send me. Like there's a lot of work that you're contributing and time you're contributing just for the love of others. And
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And it's what it's about, right? Like we kind of talked about it before that, I wouldn't be here without a bunch of people's support throughout the years. And, I'm going to continue to rely on other people for support because I'm still blossoming in my career. There's parts of my career that I haven't even opened the door yet. Like I've maybe peaked and like been like, "Ooh, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that part yet." Right. But like I haven't like full bottle, like just push the door down. And, for that, I need those people in my life. And that's why I love doing these kind of things because every time I've ever picked up the phone and, a lot of people that are coming to the event, people that come to our trainings, or even just people that I've met in, like our last event that we did together at the relaunch, like, I mean, I've already gotten reached out to by 5 or 6 agents from that event just saying, "Hey, I follow you on social media. I like what you're doing." It like speaks the world about these people that they're just willing to give some insight and some positivity in a somewhat crazy world that really makes you really just blessed. And of course, I want to share whatever I can to help other agents because I know it's a hard business out there.
Absolutely. And I can't wait. And,
Me too.
I want you to leave them off, but guys, if you're interested in this event, details are below, links in
Yes.
here, and we would love to see
No,
you. Because of the sponsors on this, like I can tell you that the price of the ticket is literally less than the cost of the dinner. So this is
exactly.
100% because people believe in the vision of what we're trying to accomplish, and that's to help other agents, give other agents a chance to actually meet people and open the lines of communication beyond the one deal you might run into that person on a year. And now all of a sudden you can have a business relationship where I can call that person and ask for their advice or even just to bounce an idea off them. And
Exactly.
we're creating those networks, but I want you to leave them off. What do you want to leave them with?
Yeah, I mean, I want to leave them with. I really hope to see you guys there on the 13th. We're so excited about this event. We've got a lot of fun activities planned. We have amazing, amazing content that we're going to be giving out. And I really think that you would be missing out and doing an injustice to yourself. And the growth of your business if you don't show up. I mean, honestly, even if it's just for the networking, even if it's just for the food, I think you're going to walk away with a lot of love in your heart and knowing that the 3 people that are doing this, the keynote speaking, are really giving you everything that they've got and they want to hear from you in return. So I'm just really excited and I hope to see you guys all there.
I love that. And Justine, thank you so much for meeting with me
No,
here today. I know
thank
you have
you
a busy
too.
day.
No, I appreciate
Absolutely.
you guys being so patient with me today and good luck today to you too. And I am so excited to see what our futures hold.
Let's do it.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you again.
See you, everyone.